When it comes to premium wireless and noise cancelling headphones, there really aren't a massive number of options out there that combine good sound, a reliable wireless connection, and top-class noise cancellation. Sony, however, could probably very easily be considered as the best of the best in this regard, especially when it comes to their 1000X series of headphones. The 1000XM4 is the latest iteration, and with it comes a couple of upgrades and other changes over the previous models. But is this new model worth buying, or is it just a minor upgrade from the previous one? Let's check it out. The design of the 1000XM4 certainly does stay true to what we've seen and come to expect from the 1000X series. We've got a stealthy, nearly all black color scheme, along with a set of very familiar features. There's NFC for easy one-touch pairing, as well as a number of microphones for the active noise cancellation. The left ear cup houses the 3.5mm analog connection, as well as the power switch and the custom switch, which is used to alter the noise cancellation mode, as well as offering the ability to assign this button to a custom function. Over on the right ear cup is the USB-C port, as well as the touch-enabled surface, which allows you to perform basic functions, such as skipping tracks, pausing the music stream, as well as adjust the volume with the designated tap and swipe gestures. Aesthetically, there really is practically no difference between the 1000XM4 and the previous 1000XM3, where the only obvious initial difference seems to be in the color of the NFC logo. The previous iteration was printed in a grey color, whereas for the new model, Sony opted for a more stealthy black on black color. Other than that, the earpads seem to perhaps be a little bit thicker than on the previous model, but the left ear cup also now sports a proximity sensor. The overall build also seems to have remained exactly the same. It's an almost all plastic build, but the soft touch finish definitely makes it look and feel more premium than what you might expect normally from plastic. Internally, there isn't a huge amount of change either, as we seem to be getting the same 40mm dynamic drivers, the same impedance and sensitivity, as well as the same battery life of up to 30 hours when using the active noise cancelling feature and up to 38 hours when not using noise cancellation. However, one very welcomed addition is Bluetooth 5.0, which is an upgrade from the Bluetooth 4.2 which was used in the 1000XM3. This change has enabled the 1000XM4 to now support pairing to multiple devices, which makes switching between devices really quick and simple. On the other hand, the 1000XM4 has also, unfortunately, lost support for aptX and aptX HD Bluetooth codecs. I'm not sure what the reason for this is, and personally, I was really hoping that this new updated model would support the aptX low latency codec for better gaming and movie viewing experiences. In terms of the overall functionality, the 1000XM4 has also remained largely the same as that of the previous version, with the most notable change lying in that proximity sensor. The cool thing about this sensor is that it senses when you remove the headphones, in which case it'll automatically pause the music and then resume again once you place them back on your head. The touch and swipe gestures remain just as responsive, and these just really make the headphones feel like a well-designed and refined product. Then, of course, we've also got the Sony Headphones Connect companion app for both Android and iOS, which allows you to adjust various settings, such as the volume, the noise cancellation mode, and the equalizer settings, as well as serving as a central music playing hub. Unfortunately, I don't have the 1000XM3 on hand in order to see if there are any feature differences here, but what I can say is that the new 1000XM4 supports what Sony calls 360 reality audio, which is intended to give you a more immersive surround sound listening experience. Unfortunately, I'm again at yet another disadvantage here, because this feature requires the integration with a streaming service which supports this specific type of audio content such as Tidal, but unfortunately Tidal is not yet supported in my region, and so I could not test this out. Of course, we should also mention the noise cancellation, an area in which I still feel that Sony reigns supreme. Sony has obviously poured in a ton of money into the research and development department because the noise cancellation on their headphones is just phenomenal. It's actually rather interesting to experience it even when you're just sitting in a room which you think is already quiet. Once you activate the noise cancellation on the 1000XM4, you suddenly realize, oh right, this is what quiet sounds like. There's also the ambient sound mode, whereby external sounds are intentionally pumped into your ears by using the array of external microphones. To some extent, it sort of gives you that similar kind of sensation that you'd get from a pair of open back headphones, but it definitely does sound artificial. So for the most part, in terms of the overall functionality, the 1000XM4 doesn't seem to add any sort of major step up in functionality over its predecessor. So how about the sound quality? As far as wireless headphones which have active noise cancellation go, the previous 1000XM3 was definitely my favorite. In the M3, Sony offered a pretty balanced, albeit slightly V-shaped signature, whereas for the 1000XM4, it seems that Sony have changed the signature a little bit. Starting with using just the cable, the 1000XM4 suffers from the same flaw as its predecessor in the sense that it just really does not sound very pleasing at all with the cable. There is practically zero sub-bass, the upper bass is substantially bloated, and this really muddies up the mids. The signature overall just feels very hollow and boxy, to the point where vocals come across with a really unpleasant nasal tonality. Personally, I would never ever use these headphones with a cable. However, once you power these on, things change dramatically. The default when turning them on is with noise cancellation active, and by looking at the graph we can see an immediate and substantial difference in the signature. It offers bucket loads of sub-bass, and that 200Hz to 1 kHz region is also much better balanced with the rest of the signature. Compared to the 1000XM3, the M4 clearly reaches much deeper in the sub-bass department, and whilst the rest seems fairly similar, those upper treble regions do seem to have been subdued a bit on the M4. This, in combination with the changes in the bass department, seems to give the 1000XM4 perhaps a slightly warmer tonality. I personally did not find the treble on the 1000XM3 overbearing, but perhaps this warmer and smoother signature on the 1000XM4 would appeal to more people. Switching over to the ambient sound mode, the most notable difference here is again in the sub-bass, which decreases in level by quite a bit. Again, personally, I find this signature to sound more balanced and realistic as compared to how it sounds when listening with noise cancellation activated. But compared to the 1000XM3, we again see a big difference in the sub-bass presentation. But to some extent, the signature overall on the 1000XM3 seems flatter, with less of a little bass hump in the 200Hz region. And then finally, we have the configuration in which both ambient sound and noise cancellation is turned off, which means that it just acts as a pair of wireless headphones. For the most part, this signature is almost identical to the ambient sound mode, but with just slightly more presence in the bass and sub-bass region. If we again compare this to the 1000XM3, that difference in the sub-bass situation remains the same, but the signature as a whole on the M3 again seems flatter, as opposed to the M4 where there's a little bit more emphasis on the lower frequencies. I could very happily live with the signatures of either the 1000XM3 or the M4 with reference to a pair of wireless and noise cancelling headphones, but to me it seems like the previous iteration perhaps offered a little bit more of an accurate signature. So that leads us to the value, and as far as this is concerned, I think it's very difficult to go wrong with Sony's 1000X series of headphones. Compared to its respective competition at least, I think Sony is at the top of their game. Now, whilst these headphones do come with the same MSRP of $350 as the previous 1000XM3, you can find these for under $300 pretty easily online. The only question remains then whether to get the new 1000XM4 or perhaps save a bit more cash and go for the M3. In terms of the sound signature, I'd personally go for the older M3 model, as it just seems more balanced. But the fact is, the 1000XM4 does offer some very good value, and the upgrade to Bluetooth 5.0 is indeed very nice. However, if you don't need multi-device support or the automatic playback control, then I really couldn't come up with a convincing argument as to why you should be getting the latest version. Whatever the case may be, whether you opt for the 1000XM4 or the previous 1000XM3, both offer great value for this type of product, and I highly doubt that you'd feel as though you could have spent your cash better elsewhere. Well, that's it for the review on the 1000XM4. Thank you so much for watching, and just a quick little reminder of our 10,000 subscribers giveaway. We are currently moving up to that milestone of 10,000 subscribers, and to celebrate we'll be giving away the DUNU DK3001 Pro. If you're unaware of the exact details for this giveaway, just have a look in the description for a link to the details of the giveaway. So happy new year to everybody. Hopefully 2021 will be much better than 2020. That's all from me for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.